That's what you see from a knocked out fighter, right? Just like the week before, he kind of stumbled after he got up. They said it was his back, but clearly there was something neurological if you have a brain and live on Earth and have observed the world. And then again, yet last night, it's a disturbing thing, especially if you don't follow combat sports or the NFL, right? The way his hands froze up. He was taken to a local hospital with head and neck injuries, suffered on it was a sack in the second quarter. He hit, so I mentioned he hit the back of his, he was sacked by Josh Tupou, and his arms appeared to seize up, as I mentioned. So the Dolphins, he was on the field for about 10 minutes before he was loaded onto a stretcher and taken away. The Dolphins said shortly before halftime he was conscious, had movement in all his extremities at the hospital, the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. After the game, they said Tua was expected to be released from the hospital Thursday night and travel back with the team to Miami. So, KJ, I know that's a weird, long good morning, right? Not such a good morning for Tua and the Dolphins, but it is good that he's all right.
Yeah, good morning, man. It's always good that somebody's all right, to be able to see that he's able to leave with the team and, join his teammates and things of that nature. And I'm sure further evaluations once they landed in Florida to figure out exactly, where things stand. You mentioned a week ago in the situation where he was, knocked to the ground against the Bills, got up, woozy, went in to the locker room, came back out.
It was really 4 days before the game, right?
Continued to play. Having been, and I said it a week ago, having been hit in the head playing football in a violent sport with a violent hit, sometimes you can beat the system at the initial outcome, meaning the test. You could figure out how your body comes back. Initially, they're not testing you right on the ground. You get an opportunity to gather yourself. And, it's just like boxing. They walk you to the corner and let things settle down. By the time he got from the field to the locker room, he was probably fine. There's not to say that his back wasn't hurting from the same hit, because when you slam down, everything hits, not just your head.
So you could point to the back instead of the head.
So you could point to the back instead of the head. Whether that was the team that did that, or whether it was Tua, or a combination of both. The NFLPA is going to be in their ass. Okay, the lawyers
you got to
of the
protect
NFLPA,
the player from himself.
Oh my
Because at that level, they're gamers. They're champs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And look, he was able to come back and play. He didn't practice throughout the course of the week at the level that he needed to, that I would have said he needed to be the starter last night in the game. But the Miami Dolphins felt like everything was fine.
Jay, he clearly, it was, I said a week. He's right. It's a short week. So they play again on Thursday, 4 days. He clearly got his bell rung. You've been a fight fan and a football fan and a
also been a guy who's been knocked out twice
by Shaquille O'Neal one of those times. So, and clearly there was something wrong from last week, and then another head injury this week.
So let's call it what it is. The NFL protocol for concussions failed Tua. That's what it is. This is an NFL issue. This is Andrew Whitworth talked about this last night post game. The Hall of Famer linebacker, right? He talked about a game versus the Eagles in which he got his bell rung and he manipulated the system. He was open and transparent about it last night post game and said that if it wasn't for one of his teammates pulling him out, he would have put his entire health at risk. But he gamed the system. So my thing is, I hate when people tell me, "Oh, what I saw? No, you didn't see that. You saw something else." And that's essentially what Tua told us. That's what the Dolphins told us, and that's what the NFL told us. But my thing is, when you see somebody that gets hit like that, when you wobble with the knee, and it's hard to kind of get your equilibrium down, that is a protocol. That is concussion. You should at least be out for that game. You should not be allowed to return to that game. And the next game should be in question, Max. So I put this on the league.
Key, you said the NFLPA is going to have an issue here. Here's the statement from last night. Quote, "Player health and safety is at the core of the union's mission. Our concern tonight is for Tua, and we hope for a full and speedy recovery. Our investigation into the potential protocol violation is ongoing." I mean, Jay, I think, brings up a good, like it leads to a good point, which is, Jay and Key, because medical science is inexact, and you could always figure out a way to get around a test or something, right? Especially, by the way, in a full contact sport where you're going to have to. You got to use some common sense. If I know sitting on my couch looking, oop, that dude's bell is wrong when his legs go, I know something neurological is going on. I know it's like when KD hurt his, oh no, it's his calf. Guys, that's an Achilles, or it's about to be, right? Sometimes common sense has got to take over, I think, in these situations.
Yeah, I would have said he was concussed as well. If I from afar watching it on television, but when in common sense wise, when you go into their locker room, they give you all these tests. There's doctors and tests and this and light here, light there, and motor skills here. And again,
he failed the walking test when he got up. He was walking, and then all of a sudden he went ragdoll.
At that point, it was a wrap.
But also, it
was a wrap.
When you hurt, we've hurt our backs before. I've hurt my back before. What's the first thing you grab when you hurt your back?
Your back.
Your back. Oh. Like your knee doesn't buckle because you're back.
Jay, you've been boxing since you were a little kid, man.
Yeah.
If you're in the gym and a dude gets hit and he thinks he's okay, sometimes there's a delayed reaction, then his legs go. He can still steady himself,
You're
stay on his feet.
man.
But who doesn't know what that is? Everyone knows what that is.
Yeah, but I guess, I mean, I don't know all the fine details, but I guess at some point when the player passes all the tests at that point in time, you clear him, he goes back out there.
You get to play him if you choose, right? Player, health and safety. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.